Hey, what's up, vacay family? It's Sean.
And this is KC.
We always on vacay mode.
And it's going to be our review of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Man, it was off the hook. So.
Wait a minute. If you don't want no spoiler, there's definitely going to be a spoiler alert.
Yep, sorry. You know what I'm saying? You might as well go see the movie, then come back to the review.
So, just so y'all know, the other day, you probably seen our live, we did a little date night at Star Cinema Grill. And for y'all that don't know, it's like a movie theater / dinner theater. I want to say you can order food while you're there. So, you know, we got a little delectables. It was pretty good. We had a good time. But we're going to jump right into this movie review because it was hot.
Yeah, it started off. Let's put it like this. In the beginning, classic, you know what I'm saying, came out, action-packed right off the bat, you know what I'm saying, Kylo Ren, with, all of them, it was pretty good, just to go through the movie real quick, there's something that you're going to see about 3 or 4 times. They, did major justice, you know what I'm saying, with this movie, off the hook.
It was really good. And I'm not really no Ben fan, but this movie, I think I fell in love with Ben. I think I'm going to the dark side. Somewhat.
Yeah, it was good, because you got to see some training, you know what I'm saying? Princess Leia was training, trained Ren. So it was pretty good. You got a lot of, they went classic with this movie. They did the old school movie very well. You know what I'm saying, about how they introduced it into this this one right here. So it was pretty tight. You know what I'm saying, Kylo Ren, he played his part to the T. You know what I'm saying, especially the fighting scene in the beginning. Where he was getting this little artifact that it was gonna lead him to the Sith Lord. You know what I'm saying? Because it was pretty tight. So, like I said, this is spoiler alert, I'm letting y'all know.
There's a lot of twists and turns in there, and I was just like blown by it. Even the way she gonna be healing some things, you're gonna be like, wow.
Yeah, because it's weird how the two characters between Kylo Ren and Rey, how they both,
the interchange that they had.
Their power is so strong, how they can be in the same room but so far apart. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna definitely have a part in that. That was kind of interesting too. How they were, there was one scene where she was talking to him, and she had a necklace on, and they had a little battle, words back and forth, and he snatched a little necklace from her when they were on that planet. You know what I'm saying? To find out where she was at, it was kind of interesting. I was like, man, they bond was really kind of tight,
Yeah, I know they can do all that right there.
It was kind of a love-hate relationship. It was really weird, But, I did like when they introduced Billy D. Williams into the movie. When they got on the planet, Billy D. Williams was one of the characters.
He's still kicking, but still kicking.
Hey, thing is, I appreciate they brought all the old school stuff back into this. So it was pretty good through the whole movie. It was tight, really tight. If y'all haven't seen it, y'all better go out and see it. Like I said, this is a spoiler alert. We're gonna tell you about the movie and what we like, the pros and cons. It wasn't that much cons. There was a lot of pros into it. That I did like. I like to see the training between Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker. Said how she became a Jedi. And yes, it's gonna be in there showing that she had Jedi training, which they never talked about. All the old school movies, but they had the brother and sister had a bond connection. In 2 and 3, so. We knew that something was there, but they kind of revealed it in this movie.
I liked how they kind of resurrect the little old. What was he? He was a tire and a blowhorn.
Yeah, it was a little.
I'm not sure.
In this movie, it's gonna be a new robot going to be introduced in here, so expect the toy to come out soon. It actually talks. So you know, BB-8 was the latest toy, and now it's this new one. So it actually has a voice to it. But you know, you
and
can't,
a bunch of personality.
Yeah, you can't beat C-3PO. You know, you can't. You know what I'm saying? C-3PO was #1 robot. You know, but it's going to be a situation with C-3PO C-3PO, where you know they're gonna have to abstract some memory from him, and it's gonna erase his memory. So that was interesting too.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you brought that out.
I was wondering how they were gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was really a sad moment, you know, in the movie when that happened, when he couldn't remember nobody. His whole entire memory was wiped, so it's like, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because he kept saying, how he be doing, he was like, forbidding to do that or whatever, so it was really good.
The characters played their part really good. I mean, because even when it was a point where Rey was fighting Kylo Ren on that planet, you know what I'm saying, that little famous scene where she was running, you know, where everybody's seen the credits, where she was running and flipped over a glider. And that was a really tight one too, because they had their little battle and stuff like that. But that was a little battle between Kylo Ren and her, because he was trying to put a dark side on her. So I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? And she, at a certain point, I mean, she didn't know she had this power. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Sith power where, you know, you see the electricity they have and stuff like that, and she blew up one of the troop gliders. So
I was just gonna say, I almost thought one of my characters got killed.
You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody was heartbroken because Chewbacca died.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, no.
He
was going to hell.
Yeah, that was so. I'm like, come on, not somebody else big into the movie dies off. So,
but you know, you can expect a lot of things to happen, considering it's supposed to be the last one.
Yeah, this is the last one. The last one. We gonna see.
So they say.
They might throw in a series. You know what I mean? Because if anybody's watched The Mandalorian, you know, if y'all real Star Wars fans, y'all would know. You know, The Mandalorian is off the hook. So they handed the torch over to The Mandalorian. So it's pretty good. You know, Baby Yoda's so cute, you know what I'm saying, like that. So
that's a little ugly thing.
Hey. Don't mess with the 50-year-old Mandalorian. I mean, the 50-year-old Baby Yoda.
Well, I guess he got looked at where if he's 50. 50?
Oh, he's 50 years old, that's no big thing. He got some unrefined power, you know, so it's kind of tight.
Man. That's cool. Let me think what else I seen that was good.
The middle, you know what I'm saying, with the other characters like Leia, you know, it was definitely interesting how they were going to bring in Kerry Washington into here. You know, even though she had passed away, rest in peace, Kerry Washington. Those that are Kerry Washington fans, go Princess Leia, you know. That was heartbreaking.
I was like, but you know, I forget sometimes they take these movies 5 to 6 years, you know, before they even release these movies. It takes so, like, a long time to get all these parts and pieces together. So,
well, JJ, the director, did mention that he was going to add some old clips from the other movies to add her in here. That's how they were able to bring her in to the movie. Because some of them are actually her, and then some of them were, you know, clips from other parts of other movies.
Well, I mean, they blended it real good. I didn't know that.
So when they put it in, it was really a touching, emotional thing just to see her, you know, in the movie, even though knowing that she had passed away. It was just like so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, she really didn't have like a huge part or anything. It was just like a little scene here and there. Yeah. So, but I mean, just to have a little bit of her in there was good. It
was interesting because the way they did the movie, even though her part wasn't a big role, she had a big impact to everybody. So you felt the effects of the emotion of her death, you know what I'm saying, of, you know, her real death, and then, you know, death in the movie, you know what I'm saying, like that. So there was, you know, because she does die in this movie, you know, like I said, it's a spoiler, letting y'all know, so if y'all gonna see it, you know, but it was it symbolized something. So, you know, she wasn't finished, you know, her life until this happened. So It was good. You know, she really was trying to get her son back. So
it was a lot of back and forth with the fight in the movie. You kept wondering, like, who gonna win? Because it was like, I don't know. One minute you think somebody gonna win, then the next minute, I don't know. Right. It's like, wow, like.
And what was crazy is, what was so shocking is when he went to the planet, you know, the Sith planet, you know what I'm saying, where the main emperor is. Man, I thought the dude they cut up came back to life. You know what I'm saying? But no, shockingly, it was the Sith that actually Darth Vader killed. So-called killed when he threw him down, you know what I'm saying, the little electric ravine. So I'm like, you know.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, didn't these characters die like a few times? Like, wait a minute, but they're back. So
yeah, this one was like, he was with a vengeance. He was hooked up to a little, you know what I'm saying, like a little machine or something like that.
Life alert.
Yeah, keep him alive, but he was the one actually sent Kylo Ren to go kill Rey. You know, and that was an interesting thing too, because for that Sith, that was actually Rey's grandfather. So the reason why she never seen her parents is because he had sent a bounty to kill off her parents. You know what I'm saying?
Cold.
Yeah, I was like, dang. So the parents, you know what I'm saying, was hid her off because his son his son had a son that went and had a child, you know what I'm saying, protected the daughter. So she thought she got sold into slavery, but she actually wasn't. She was actually protected, you know what I'm saying?
And so the movie also explained, in the beginning you're going to notice a little kid asked her about her name, and she just gave her just the first name. But it's going to explain why Rey didn't have a last name, but she going to end up with one.
Yeah. and what's this big deal about the rise of Skywalker? Like, is Skywalker coming back? I mean, it was like kind of twisting and turning. Like, this supposed to be the last one, and then the rise of Skywalker. So how would Skywalker be a rise? That was a big question. So we were wondering, like, what's going on? So basically, Ren, fought. Ren actually went through the same test that Skywalker did. You know, said she had to face, her demons of being controlled by the dark side. So there was a point where she went back to the Death Star to go try to find the little cube to find the Sith planet. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of funny too. The big old heavy wave and everything like that. But she got over there and actually.
I forgot about the big wave. What she called a little boat thing? I forgot.
Yeah, she went on a glider. Or something like that.
Saying she out there on a glider. Like, oh my goodness. So I was like, is she gonna really make it over there? That girl coming back with a vengeance.
She was determined.
She was determined. I was say she was so determined to get back over there.
Yeah. So she went over there in there, and then she ended up having to fight herself. You know what I'm saying? The dark side of herself. And it was interesting because I know everybody's wondering, is she going to the dark side? Because, the commercials be kind of fooling you to think that she had went to the dark side. Because, we all was tripping off the fact that she had this unrefined power that she knew how to use, immediately. So it was crazy, that she knew how to use it. But she was really strong. She was actually stronger than Luke. Because everybody knows Luke was weak because he kept worrying about everybody else and stuff like that. And there was a point, everybody remember in Star Wars 2 when he tried to get the ship out the water, when Yoda was trying to train him and stuff like that, he couldn't get it out. And remember Yoda had to get it out for him to take off. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be something in the movie about that too as well. You know what I'm saying? Because towards the middle or movie or something like that, when Rey goes back to the island where Skywalker is, she was giving up. She actually, burned her ship, was going to get ready to throw her lifesaver. She threw Luke's lifesaver. And it's funny is Luke caught the lifesaver. Yes, I did say Luke came back. Yes.
I'll say he appeared.
Yeah, he appeared. He was glowing. He had the force. You know, they don't never really die. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of like went in on her about trying to get rid of his lifesaver, but he had talked. You know, she had talked her into going back because she was like, she was so scared that she found out about that she was the granddaughter of the Sith.
It's like, what? Yeah. I'm like, no, not her. She too sweet. She too nice. Can't be. Yeah. But man, talking about throwing a wrench in and a hook.
But she ended up she ended up deciding to go back, but she was like, how? I blew up my ship. So, you know, it showed that finally Luke was able to get his, you know, after all those studies and learning how to be one with the Force, he actually pulled his old school ship out of the water. Yep. Mm-hmm. And she actually was flying his ship. Still work.
I know, right? How cool was that? I was like, man, it was a cool movie. I really enjoyed it. And if you ain't never seen any Star Wars movies, you can just come into this one. Yeah. It explains itself.
Yeah. If you haven't, go through the first 3 of the old school one and then watch this one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, you can watch all 20 hours of all the videos if you want to, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if you want to catch up, you know, watch the first 2 and then this one. But if you don't watch the first 3 originals, you won't get what's going on and stuff like that. Cause, you know, cause it was a lot about, Luke Skywalker, Leia, you know, and Han Solo, especially. And Han Solo pops up in the movie. It was a good moment then and there, because then, see, on that Death Star, Kylo Ren showed up, was fighting, you know, and actually told her that her grandfather was a Sith. So that's when that came up. So they were actually squabbling, you know what I'm saying, fighting back and forth, lifesaver to lifesaver, man. Mm-hmm. They both were tough. It was a tie because they both were strong. You know what I'm saying? It was like they couldn't beat each other. He had hatred, she had love. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And, you know, and she knew the true realness about his heart, but he thought, you know, he felt that she should have been the Sith, and they both take over and kill all the Siths and everybody else, and they run the world. Mm-hmm. But, you know, there's a point where Princess Leia knows that she has something to do, and pretty much it was pretty much to distract her son, to get her son back. It was a distraction when they were fighting, and Rey stabbed her. It actually killed him. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like I told you, this is a spoiler alert. You know what I'm saying? She killed him, but she actually, you know, healed him back.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, because there was a point in the beginning of the movie where she healed this little snake under the ground when they were on the planet, and showed how much strength she had. It was life force going out of her into this big old giant snake, this little sand snake or whatever like that.
Worm looking snake. I don't know what it was, but it was swirling around. So,
so yeah, she touched Kylo Ren and healed his wound up, because he was actually stabbed through and through. The moms had distracted her, Princess Leia. So as soon as she stabbed Ben, you know what I'm saying, that was when Princess Leia died. That was her life. She ended her life then. You know how it is. So Ben had, you know, everybody felt that he had died, and then, you know, when he brought her back, but she talked him into, Rey talked to him, and was like, why'd you bring me back? He said, I didn't bring you back, I brought Ben back. Like that, hint, hint, Ben. Anybody know Ben? You know where he got that name Ben from? I ain't gonna tell you. You gotta watch the old school movies to find out why he was named Ben. You know, for those Star Wars fans, y'all know why his name is Ben. So, so she had took off and left, you know, the planet, and pretty much took his ship. You know what I'm saying? And was out of there. and went to the Sith planet and stuff like that, where he had to face his father. Yes, this is when Solo came back and was talking to him about, getting him back, and he had that same moment when they were standing there, like in part 1 where he got killed. That they had that same moment again. He was like, "I don't think I can do it," and he said, "Yeah," and then Solo was like, "Yes, you can." That was so moving, to know what he was about to have, because he thought he was about to stab him again. But what happened is he threw his, lifesaver into the water. He didn't want to be Kylo Ren. He became Ben right that moment. So that was really emotional. So, so the rise of, this could be controversial to me. A lot of people have different points of the ending. The rise of Skywalker was AKA Ben, because remember, he was trained by his uncle, like that. And he came back, to be the Ben he was supposed to be. And so she was already on her way to the Sith planet to go try to kill her grandfather. Like that. So she went through the whole thing.
Crazy, your own family.
It was deep. Go. It was crazy, man. But yeah, the end was crazy because Luke Skywalker, when they were talking, gave her Princess Leia's lifesaver and told her that somebody, a mighty person will be, a mighty woman, I think that was what it was, would actually wield her sword again. And that actually was Ren. So Ren had both of them. She was going to kill the Sith with both. But, if y'all seen it, how it was done, Ben came in, and had a lifesaver. But like they said, that bond was strong between the two. So he didn't have his lifesaver anymore. Mind you, he threw it in the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they had that bond again where she knew he was there, and they exchanged lifesavers. So he was wielding Luke, his uncle's lifesaver. So he was the rise of Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? He did the last of the last fight with Skywalker, and she had Princess Leia's. So brother and sister were fighting side by side in spirit. You know what I'm saying? Again.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was cool, But she had, towards the end, let me fast forward it because I know I was dragging it out and stuff like that. But towards the end, pretty much, she killed her grandfather. She used actually both of the Skywalker, Luke and Leia's, sabers to kill her grandfather. And she disintegrated that sucker. Seriously.
He needed to burn, though.
He burned because there was a point where the grandfather took their power and started healing himself. And that was freaky too.
I thought they both were gonna die for a minute. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but see, but Ben at the time, he got up and he called him a weakling because he decided to go to the forest. He knew it was good, Mama always, said no, they sons, so she knew he had a good heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, So she disintegrated that sucker and then, left the planet, while they was still in the war. That war was crazy. You see all those Death Stars, man. It was thousands of Death Stars, and they had their own cannon. Oh my goodness, they had their own cannon to destroy the whole entire planet. What, man? You know what I'm saying? So they were trying to fight. It was a little, it was a weird, way of fighting and stuff like that. But, it was kind of real interesting how the end went. So they were fighting. All the Death Stars, was getting destroyed. When we see that that old man had his power, man, he was strong. You know what I'm saying? He actually killed the engine on all the fighters, you know what I'm saying? So they were getting ready to collapse, but she killed him right on time, you know what I'm saying, for them to destroy those ships.
It was a bunch of them too, like a million of them.
Oh yeah. It was crazy. Everybody had played a part, but it was just mainly about them. So it ended well. I liked the ending. It was funny, they showed the Ewoks, you know what I'm saying? They gave them a little cameo at the end of the Ewoks, It showed her bury Luke's and Leia Luke and Leia lifesavers in the sand where they were born and raised at, and you see a silhouette of them in the background, smiling at Ren. But not Ray, but Ray had her own, you know what I'm saying, lifesaver. You know what I'm saying? So she took on the last name, because remember, she didn't have a family, but she has a family. So she's the next Skywalker. That was the rise of Skywalker.
Got a last name now. So.
Man, it was a roller coaster ride. I know everybody's like tripping off that last scene, that kissing scene with the two girls. Like, why they throw that in there? Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
But
you know, they trying to put it current. They didn't have to have that in there. They could have just left it alone. But anyway, so you know, hopefully you guys liked the review. You know what I'm saying? It was really good. I give it 5 stars, 2 thumbs up.
We got 4
you
thumbs.
4 thumbs up. You know what I'm saying, for Sean and Casey. You know, we always going to give y'all the best reviews, no matter if it's travel, you know, say trips, cruises, and the latest travel news.
Yeah, so it was fun, y'all. Definitely go check it out.
And leave a review. Leave a review at the bottom and comment below to tell me your thoughts about what you think about the movie and everything like that, and what your review is and what you feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But if you haven't went to go see it, you better get in theaters. It's in theaters now.
This is Sean.
And this is KC.
See you guys next time.
On vacay mode. Deuces.